Listen, Jessica, I wanted to ask you, I kind of wanted to get this in earlier, you orientate around spirituality. When I first sort of saw I heard nice things about you, and I looked up your website and it said inspiration consciousness. And I thought, oh no, not one of those spiritual people, and then I was like, oh, no, it looks like she's deep into breath work and the body. And sometimes the people who are into kind of consciousness and altered states and spirituality, sometimes they're more about getting away from the body. That's their thing. That's their trip, right? Get away from the body. The body's we're in a piece of meat. That's the real deal is we're spiritual beings having a physical experience, So I've been pleasantly surprised not to hear that at all. Maybe you could speak a little bit to that. So some of the people who are more spiritually inclined or consciousness inclined, is there a trap there around disembodiment? How does embodiment help? I'd love to hear you speak a little bit about that before we wrap up.
Mark, this is why I was so looking, that's one of the reasons I was so looking forward to connecting with you, because as soon as I heard about the work you were doing, again, I think it was about 3 years ago, it's like, yeah, he's picked up on that piece. It's so, to me, this is actually, so let me, I'll take 5 minutes here to download this. I think that in terms of awareness about human potential, we had sort of the ages where we lived, we understood there was like connection with divinity, or, and if you don't have to think of it that way, because it's just the Big Bang is so awesome, right? Like, that's it, the Big Bang. The force, love, call it what you want, God, I don't really care. There's something incredible, and we are that. You and I were in the Big Bang, the air we're breathing, everything was one. That is not a mystical concept. It's an actual physical concept. Somehow in the development of the neocortex, and I don't think it's a bad thing, I think it's actually a development of evolution, we experience the sense of separation from the fact that literally our bodies are the very stuff that that the universe was born from, that was created from. And so I think that, we came down through the Age of Enlightenment, where there was all this awakening then around philosophy and thinking and understanding. And then Freud issued in kind of the age of like emotion, and that mattered. And we are now finally at the place of having to awaken embodiment, which is the healing that really needs to happen. There is all kinds of abuse on this planet. There's physical abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, religious abuse, spiritual abuse. In my opinion, the deepest part of spiritual abuse is that you are telling a human being that there is some higher power that is not them, that is not in their own body.
Profoundly disempowering.
Disempowering. And on top of it being profoundly disempowering, it's profoundly limiting of what our potential is. Because what I want to say is, yeah, the Big Bang and God, love, the force, whatever you want to call it, it's rippling out through the universe. And this is its child. This is it. This is this is consciousness. This is consciousness's greatest creation, in a sense, is you, me, that deer, the atom of air. And to be separated from that, to be told that there's an intermediary, a priest, a religion, a set of beliefs, that it's something outside of yourself, is the setup for, and someday we'll get away from this hell and we'll transcend to whatever, and it'll all be better. And this allows the great shadow that we don't have the potential to heal suffering, that we don't have the potential to co-create a world in which all beings can thrive. This has to be healed. The bringing together of consciousness and the experience of it in the body and in every little daily action is actually the way out of the dilemma that we've created. It's the way to wholeness. So I could go on forever about that. This is it. This is the thing. Yeah.
Jessica, that is, I think, a beautiful place to start to wrap up here. It's a pleasure to meet you. A pleasure to meet you. Nice to make your acquaintance, to be a little bit British and old-fashioned. But I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed hearing what you're doing practically around the Breathworkers Association and that approach to ethics. I'm sure there's loads more, so people will be tuning into, no doubt, at the Embodiment Conference. Where else can they find you on the internet, Jessica, if they want to look you up?
Well, the Consciousness School is inspirationcommunity.org, and the Global Professional Breathwork Alliance is breathworkalliance.com.
Great. Breathworkalliance.com and inspirationcommunity.org. All right. So you've reminded me to text my mum as well, which is, I do appreciate, actually, because I'm so busy with the conference.
Your mom's going to appreciate that too.
Well, I love my mum. I do love my mum. And I've been neglecting my mum lately with the conference. There's no point, I really think there's no point doing any big work in the world if you forget your mum and your wife and your niece and all those, the people in our lives that were dear to us. So, yeah, I'm going to go do that in a minute.
I love that you're saying that, Mark, because it's kind of akin to the fact that, what is all this stuff we're doing if we're forgetting our Mother Earth, And
Nice. Yeah.
And I will just say that they say that men who love their mothers make the best partners. So.
It's a very good first date question, is to ask someone, what do you think of your mum or dad, depending on your preference. And if they like them too much or not enough, then I think there's a healthy middle ground, Okay, and closing message about the body, Jessica, to finish us off today.
Well, first of all, Mark, let me say what you're doing, the fact that you realized how important this somatic intelligence is as an intrinsic, not a supportive. It's literally 1/4 of our intelligence, emotional intelligence, somatic intelligence, cognitive intelligence, and then imaginal or consciousness, intelligence. It's so beautiful. And I know that this has been a gargantuan task to pull together 1,000 teachers to do this massive embodiment conference. And it's coming at a great time on our planet. So I just really want to honor your vision and your work. And I feel really grateful to be a part of it. And I will just say again that, we have a teaching in our school that goes like this. I am you and you are me, and I am everything and you are everything. And this everything is trying to find a way to express itself uniquely through the unique form that it created in each one of us. It is possible for a human being to awaken. There are those that have done it, and every one of them tells us that we can all do it. And it is possible for a human being to express their deepest potential. And there are those that have done it, and they've told us we can all do it. And the bringing together, the using of conscious breathing to heal all the intrapsychic splits of body, heart, head, and spirit is a way to have a lived experience of that truth, because the air that I breathe has been breathed by everybody, and the air that you breathe has been breathed by everybody. And the molecular memory, just like the cellular memory of all the wisdom and the shadows and all of it that has ever been, and the potentials, is right there in our breath. So it has to be in the body, or it's still going to be fractured. And I do want to just end by saying, Mark, that Rumi was very clear about this. And I think Rumi's a great person to bring in here because, he was a great mystic, but he also, he had deep respect, not just for the Sufi and Muslim tradition that he was a part of, but for Christianity and Judaism. He wrote poems about Buddha and Christ and everybody, Muhammad. And he has this one poem where he says this: I'm going to shorten it and paraphrase it a little bit. Not Sufi, not Zen, not Muslim, not Christian, not Jewish, not Hindu, not any religion. I am not from down in the ground, nor am I from up in the sky. I am not from any place. My place is placeless, a trace of the traceless. I have seen the two worlds as one, and that one call to and know as first, last, outer, inner, breath, breathing human being.
Jessica Dibb, thank you so much. Beautiful and encouraging. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.